Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. Look, we are getting ready to close out the year here for the year and then the boxing year. So I'm definitely going to talk some some bite down boxing presented by Pay Me No Mind. Obviously, this weekend the big deal is one Gervonta Tank Davis with his move up to the lightweight division, and his first opponent is going to be Yuri Orkis Gamboa. I've been critical of him as an opponent, but he does only have two losses. He is 38 years old. One of those losses came against a bigger uh, Terrence Crawford, but the one thing that I just can't get over in this matchup, in terms of its magnitude, the one thing that I can't get over is that Gamboa was stopped by the other guy that he lost to. He was stopped by Robinson Castellanos a couple of years ago, and at that time Castellanos had 12 losses, and it was a bad night for Gamboa. So Gervonta is an extremely talented offensive fighter. You saw last time he started walking. He just gave up his boxing and just started walking the Hugo Ruiz cat down and just walked through everything that he had and just destroyed that man. And it'll be interesting here to see if everything that the best that we've known of Gamboa, if any of that stuff can be can play out. If Gamboa can bring any of that to the ring Saturday night. The other thing here, my prediction is a bad knockout, is an ugly knockout of Gamboa by Gervonta Davis. But looking at this thing on how we got here and kind of my problem with boxing, the rhetoric is that Gervonta Davis is the future of boxing. He's the biggest name in boxing. He's going to be a pay-per-view darling and so on and so forth. But he's at that stage, and even if we compare him to his protege or his mentor, or the guy whose company he fights under or banner he fights under in Mayweather Promotions, he's around the same age as, give or take, a year or two. He's around the same age as Floyd when we were getting Floyd versus Jose Luis Castillo and the Diego Corraleses, which defined the early portion of Floyd's career. But here it is with Davis. Since the Pedraza fight in 2017, I believe, in January of 2017, we thought this new star arrived, and the next set of names, the next 4 or 5 names, just really haven't been against marquee names. After such a dominant performance, I mean, it was a hell of a night against that Tank had against one Jose Pedraza. Now, the one thing what I was thinking about, man, we in boxing, we're constantly sold and it's promoted to us who is going to be what. And then conversely, when we look at something like football in the NFL, the schedule makes we don't need to be told anything. The schedule itself and the play tells us everything. Or here in the matter, so what I was looking at this year, they came out and the word early on was that Stephon Gilmore of the New England Patriots is the new island corner. He's the best corner in all of football. Okay, I didn't know much about Gilmore. I did see, his impact last year, but I'm like, well, let me see if this is really the dude. So over the course of the season, Stephon Gilmore faces the big names here are the Cleveland Browns with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. The Steelers, they open up with the Steelers, who have Juju Smith-Schuster, a dude who had a big year the year before, last season. We also saw Gilmore and the Patriots up against the Cowboys with Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, and and Randall Cobb is another big name from the past. DeAndre Hopkins, a top three receiver. They also played. The Patriots also played them, and then the Chiefs with Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, those guys. We're gonna see who. We're really going to see what Stephon Gilmore is really about. Now, I don't pay the money to go to something like Pro Football Focus, where you can probably dig in and get some more specific numbers in terms of Gilmore's effectiveness against these different wide receivers. This is just on a general, just looking at the end result of the game. Against Landry and Odell Beckham Jr., both guys did have 5 catches, neither one of them nowhere near 100, no touchdowns. Against the Steelers on week 1, opening night, with Roethlisberger and, like I said, a Juju Smith-Schuster. Schuster did catch 78 yards. He did have a total of 78 yards. But, again, James Washington and Juju Smith-Schuster, nobody has a touchdown. They go to play Dallas. They host Dallas. Randall Cobb, I believe, who's in the slot, he had 86 yards. Amari Cooper did not have a reception. No reception from Amari Cooper. Gallup, 55 yards. Another quiet night. And I'm pretty sure I did watch that game. I'm pretty sure Gilmore was on Cooper all night. And, Amari Cooper's a middle of the road top 10 receiver probably on his best weeks. Then DeAndre Hopkins and the great Deshaun Watson. Hopkins, 64 yards, 5 receptions, no touchdowns. It's pretty much that for the Texans. I think a week later, maybe earlier this month, Patrick Mahomes and they didn't win all of these games, but Patrick Mahomes and all of that offense on the Chiefs, they defeat the Patriots, but Tyreek Hill, 62 yards, no touchdown. Sammy Watkins, 50 yards, no touchdown. I don't know if he was mixing in between those guys, but I'm just pointing out here, nobody's scoring touchdowns against this guy, and nobody's cracking the century mark. At the end of this season, I can, in all my novice understanding of NFL football, I know that Stephon Gilmore is good at what he does. So what I say all this to say, when we look at what I'm being told by Leonard Ellerbe, the post-fight comments by Floyd Mayweather Jr., the pay-per-view stuff down the road, all of that's good, but put some stuff on TV that allows me to discern by myself that Gervonta Davis is really great. Now we know, like I said, he's a hell of an offensive puncher, hell of a style, hell of a skill set. He dismantled and embarrassed Pedraja. We see all of these things, but I just don't see the creativity there in terms of making that really signature, that signature fight and really getting the ball rolling. So this is, I'm gonna watch the fight this weekend and see what happens. Hopefully Gamboa can bring some of the things that made him a hot commodity earlier in his run. But and I'll enjoy the Badou Jack and Jean Pascal fight. But here in the main event, it's imperative that we have a good night from Gamboa to kind of help with the story and what's next for young Gervonta Davis. Let me get on out of here, man. Bite down boxing. Don't let them count you out. Pay me no mind. Sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.